What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Casper Chronicles. It's your boy Casper, and today we have an updated Brigade deck profile. I did take this to locals on this past Saturday when you're watching this. I did go X2, so my record was 3-2. We played 5 rounds. I'm honestly not sure what place I came in because the computer that they do the pairings on died, so I'm not sure of the placing that I got as of the time of recording this video, but there were definitely some changes that I most definitely want to make, and we will talk about those, as well as talking about budget options, because this deck is pretty expensive, or can get really expensive. And of course, side deck, we'll go through that today, but just remember, like, your side deck should be tailored to whatever your locals is. I mean, you can use this as a kind of guide. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile here. We're going to go the main deck first, extra, and then side deck. So, I mean, we did the normal, traditional, Brigade lineup: 3 Fractal, 3 Kit, 3 Nerval. And a lot of people do 2 Kuraz. I like 3 Kuraz just because we play 3 Cat. The Rescue Cat is literally a free link to, like, either Farragut or what's the other one? The one that searches Revolt. I can't think of the name right now. It is very easy. If you have Cat with Gamma, you can protect your Cat. If you have Cat with Cross Out, you can protect your Cat. Like, there's a lot of ways to protect this. Like, they have to imperm when this is summoned, because when you activate the effect, it tributes itself for cost, and it's no longer on the field. But, like, if they try to imperm on the summon and you have Cross Out, cool, you can just cross out their imperm and continue with your play. Yeah, like, the reason for the 3 Kuraz is literally you summon the 1 Kuraz and 1 Kit off of the Rescue Cat to go into Farragut. So if you have Rescue Cat and 1 Brigade, you can go into a Link 3 a 3 Negate Appaloosa with a Revolt set. And usually you would, like, without being disrupted, you can either have 3 to 4 cards in your hand, depending on if you were interrupted or not. In future reference, I would consider cutting Cat to 2, just because of, like, there was one time I opened 2 Cats and no, like, interruption. But there are some other cards we'll talk about in a little bit that definitely need to be repositioned. But yeah, that's the Brigade lineup. Well, and Rescue Cat, I guess. The one of course, you saw it in the opening sequence. We are playing the Samoric Link 3, which brings out the Barrier Statue, and also we play something else in the side deck that you'll see a little bit later for Samoric as well. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is going to be seeing a lot more play with the new Lyra Lusk, the new Flunderies, when Flunderies comes out. So this is going to be annoying, just for future reference. For hand traps, the 3 Gamma, the 1 Brick, 2 Ash, 2 Veiler. And, I mean, I have it with the traps, but, I mean, technically Imperm is a hand trap as well. An argument can be made for taking Veiler out for, like, tactics, or, any other, like, a 3rd Ash and something else. But, I mean, I kind of like this because, like, with the mentality of, Brigade, we usually get, like, 2 effects. After those 2 effects, if both of those effects get stopped, I mean, yeah, sure. Like, if we have the correct, like, plays, we have, like, an additional Brigade in hand, like, we can go Farragut and use Farragut to special the 3rd tri-name and keep going that way. But, I mean, at the same time, it's very few and far between. So if you stop the two effects that we get, like, it's usually game over. So this lineup of hand traps, this is to protect Rescue Cat. And of course, this beautiful card right here is also to protect Rescue Cat. The three cross out. Cross out, you don't really need to play. It most definitely helps for sure. You can play like three ofs. Like you can take these out and just play the gamma, and then play like three ofs of cards that we'll talk about here in a minute. But we'll get to that here in a second. Yeah, that is it for the hand traps. Hand traps do, of course, they always do change depending on your locals. Excuse me. Like if you see like a lot more Drytron, like maybe Imperm or something isn't really that. Or I'm sorry, if you see a lot of Virtual World, not Drytron, Imperm and Valor, not really great because they don't really do anything against Virtual World matchup. You might want to play Ash. You might want to play Ghost Bell, so on and so forth. Right? There's other cards that you can play. But like I said, under the spells, the three crossouts, like we just saw. Instead of playing the three crossouts, you could play the third Prosperity. You could play the third Droplets. I just opted 2 and 2. Like, it's nice to have this, but you don't really need it. It's nice to have this too. It's also a cross out target. As long as they don't send a spell off of their Droplets, you're good. You can cross out Droplets, which is pretty insane. Yeah, so you could play 3 of this, and like a third Ash or something if you don't want to play the crossouts, right? Or, like you could play 3 of this, and an Imperial Order and cut this out completely because we don't really play that many spells. For the one-ups, you got the 1 Tanky, of course it went to 1. The 1 called by just an additional crossout or Gamma. And finally, the final spell is Monster Reborn. This will definitely be changed out for a Feather Duster or some sort of back row removal. I always sided this out. There was really no need for it. I mean, it's a nice extender to have, but I'd rather have back row removal in here over the extender. Because I did play a Mystic Mine player, and that was awful. We had to go to game 3 because I didn't have a main deck out to Mystic Mine game 1. I won game 2 because obviously we went first. And then game 3, we just, but sided in all the back row hate and we won. Another thing, though, this could be changed for Imperial Order because we only play 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 spells. So, I mean, if you wanted to change this into Imperial Order, that is entirely up to you. I was thinking Feather Duster or Imperial Order. Or, honestly, you could even play both and make it a 42 card deck. Because right now it is 41. Yeah, that is it for the spells. The traps, we only played 2 Strike and 2 Revolt. The last list I did, we only played the 1 Revolt. The one I got, I think it was 3rd place. For like the trophy one, deck profile of the Brigade Cat. We only played 1, and boy, I really did miss the 2nd Revolt. When I played at locals yesterday, I ended up drawing one of these a lot, and if that's the case, I usually like to go into the Simorg play and then just set Revolt. Because I would have 4 Beast Warrior Wing Beasts in the grave, especially if they run over the barrier statue. Cool. And then I have an additional form of disruption for the Revolt, or with Revolt, excuse me, and then Strike just to back things up. Yeah, that is the main deck. Like I said, it is 41 cards. There are some cards that definitely do need to change and will be changed accordingly. Budget options. I totally forgot budget options. So for, I know Droplets is expensive, Prosperity is expensive, Crossout is expensive. But like I said, like Crossout you don't really need to play. You can just play 3 of these, or like you can play Desires. You could play Chalice over Droplets, the Desires over this, and then just play 3 additional hand traps or what have you, because this is like a pretty expensive, what is that, 7 cards. But yeah, those are really the budget options I can think of off the top of my head. If you know of any more budget options, please comment down below so that way we can help budget players out, because, you know, Konami doesn't really like budget players for some reason recently with all the crappy structure decks. But that is a topic for another video. On to the extra deck. So things are going to change in this extra deck too. So right now we play 3 Shurag, Appaloosa, and Access Code for the Link Force. 1 Shurag is going to come out. I'm not sure for the other 2 spots, but I do want to put Zeus back in here. And no, we do not play Zeus. I didn't really think it was necessary, but Zeus did come up a couple of times yesterday, and I didn't have it in my deck, so it kind of sucked. But you know, Appaloosa is usually the standard combo Appaloosa for 2 or 3 with Revolt set. And then Access Code is pretty easy to go into with this deck with Rugal or the Doom Eagle. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But usually just go for this to like this was Shurag, this is OTK. And then for the Link 3s, like I said, we're playing some Morg. Right, brings out the Barrier statue, brings out another card in the extra deck. You'll see Rugal. It sometimes like your hand maybe just kind of awkward where you can't really get 4, and you want to resolve Revolt or something along those lines, to where like you have an awkward hand and you end up with what's her name? This card, the Bearbrum, and a Beast where Wing Beast, right? You can link into this and still get your Revolt search, so that way you have Rugal, Revolt, Pass. I mean, you don't have the Appaloosa, which kind of sucks, but you still have Revolt and possibly hand traps to back you up, which is fine. Doom Eagle, I like to use this to go climb into Access Code over Rugal. It can come up to where you'd rather do Rugal over this. Just like to have the versatility here. One of these could probably this would potentially come out for one of the spots for Zeus. But that is it for the Link 3s. On to the Link 2s. We play 2 Farajit. Farajit is definitely, one of them is definitely a prosperity target. Farajit, double Farajit came up like 1 time yesterday. So, I want to cut it to 2, but it's very nice to have a second one. And I mean, worst case scenario, you send one off of prosperity, but this is also a very viable target to banish off of prosperity. We have the 1 Harpy Conductor to help you do the 1 card into the Samorg and Barrier Lock. This is also a prosperity target if you don't really need it. It's also a potential cut for Zeus. The Bearbrum, get your Revolt or any Tri-Brigade spell or trap search. Ancient Warriors, the bounce to send. Send to bounce, said that backwards, right? That's it for the Link 2s. The Link 1 is Elmirage, and the 1 Synchro, since we played a Gamma package, is Omega. Sometimes, like if you side out the Gamma package, this can come out, can be a prosperity target as well. And Elmirage you just kind of need for the really, really awkward hands of, normal summon Kit or normal summon Nerval to like get some form of play going. But that is it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck. A lot of things could potentially be changing in this, but again, like I said, your side deck is really based on whatever you're playing against at your locals. But this is kind of a what most of what I see at my locals, right? So you have 3 Phantasme. Everyone seems to be link summoning now. PK is becoming more prevalent at my locals. Tri-Brigade is still kind of pretty prevalent. We have a couple of Drytron players, which, I mean, we don't really side heavily for them. But yeah, Phantasme almost always comes out of my hand and goes in, and imperms come out. Yeah, and then 2 Nibiru, like I said, PK, you can nib them, and sometimes, depending on where you nib them, they can't really do anything. 2 Droll. For the Drytron matchup, I know like Droll doesn't really do very much of anything against them. These 2, well, honestly, all of these are pretty good against Dragon Link. And I guess certain situations, Lancey is also good against Dragon Link. We only play one of them for a cross-out target. There's a couple Dragon Link players at my locals too. But yeah, a lot of these kind of cover the basis for everything. Lancia is like the most important one for a cross-out target, because obviously if our opponent Lancias us, it's extremely hard for us to play. So I mean, that Lancia, the cross-out target, is a pretty solid play no matter what Tri-Brigade build you play, unless you don't play cross-out. And I mean, that spot is open for debate. You got the 1 Pankratops for going second. And then, like I said, the other target to bring out Samorg, bring out with Samorg, instead of the barrier statue. There was against the Mystic Mind player, actually, I had Samorg, this cross out, and I drew into Imperial Order. So they really weren't going to bring out the Mystic Mind. Was not going to let them. And even if you bounce this to hand at the end phase, you can just special this back out and having another another negate on your turn. Like you can protect from Nibiru or whatever. All right. But yeah, that's it for the monsters. So here we will leave these out on the table for you. So that way, if you want to take a snapshot of this or something, just for a template, I guess. There you go. All right, and we'll keep it moving. Double twin. I kind of wanted to play Cosmic. I also wanted to play like a third twin or whatever. If you don't play the Lancia, cool, you can play the third twin, what have you. But you know, other back row stuff, Feather Duster, possibly gonna go in the main. Another cross out target, because I mean, I don't like to hard lose to Mystic Mind. This card is so stupid. I don't know why it has survived all of the ban lists. Konami, if you're watching, please ban this card. It is the most ridiculous win con ever. And then finally, like I said, another card that is probably going to go in the main deck is Imperial Order. This is literally a win con against spell heavy decks. It's extremely powerful. I don't know what else to say. Like, everyone probably knows all about this card and how ridiculously potent it is. But yeah, guys, that is the deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed. If there's anything like you would change in this deck, please do let me know down in the comments. I'm very intrigued to know. I always enjoy, comments back and forth about, what can make our decks pretty strong, what can make my deck stronger or our deck stronger, however you want to put it. Also, a special shout out to Mr. YG82. He helped me build this. Well, technically, I helped him build this. So definitely go check out his channel. I will try to remember to link it down in the description. If I don't, just literally type in the search bar Mr. YG82 and go check out some of his videos and all that. And also, while you're here, if you enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up, and again, comment down below if you see or think of anything that we could change to make this deck better. Yeah, guys, without further ado, until next time, it's your move.